Okay, good afternoon, America. Today is Tuesday, the 17th of March, and it is 1:20. 1:33. We're going to start off with a sound saying, if I can get it open. Okay. This is coming from Isaiah 52:12. For ye shall not go out with haste, nor go by flight, for the Lord shall go before you. You should not go out with haste, not in a hurry, nor go by flight, for the Lord shall go before you. That means the Lord will be before the people. Okay? The back of it is coming from Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. Amen. And this is so true. We are reading from Jeremiah 3 today. Jeremiah is not a very favorite book to read from for many reasons. Kind of points out our errors. It pointed out the errors of the people in the biblical time, so it kind of correlates with what's going on with us today. It is a 25 verse chapter, has a lot of brown in it for Satan, has a verse. It starts off with yellow for family. We have a verse of green for love, several verses of orange for your faith, several verses of pink for witnessing, gold for prophecy, and one verse of silver for history. And it ends off with orange for your faith. So let's begin. They said, if a man put away his wife, and she goes from him, and becomes another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted? Let's read it from here. Actually, that verse is a split verse, but I'll read the yellow part first. And it says, if a man divorces his wife, and she leaves him and marries another man, shall he return to her again? Okay. Would not the land be completely defiled? Okay. It will be completely defiled, because when a man divorces a woman, if that woman does not marry again, then that man can marry that woman once more. But if she goes on and she marries again and again and again, the first husband cannot marry her again. Okay, I think that's very easy to understand. The brown part says, but thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, saith the Lord. And here it says, but you have lived as a prostitute with many lovers. Would you now return to me, declares the Lord. Verse 2 to verse 11 is all brown for Satan, and I'm just going to read it straight away. But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, saith the Lord. Verse 2, lift up thy eyes into the high places, and see where thou hast not been leaned with. In the ways hast thou sat for them, as the Arabians in the wilderness, and thou hast polluted the land with thy whoredom and with thy wickedness. Verse 3, therefore the showers have been withholden, and there has been no latter rain, and thou hast a whore's forehead, thou refusest to be ashamed. 4, will thou not from this time cry unto me, my Father, thou art the guide of my youth? 5, will he reserve his anger forever? Will he keep it to the end? Behold, thou hast spoken and done evil things as thou could have. You have done the most evil thing that you could possibly do. Now, this is talking to that generation at the time. Let's not even talk about this generation. 6, the Lord says also unto me in the days of Joshua the king, hast thou seen that which backsliding Israel has done? She has come up upon every high mountain and under every green tree, and there has played the harlot. 7. And I say, after she has done all these things, turn thou unto me, but she returneth not, and her treacherous sister Judah saw it. 8. And I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce, because yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not. It went and played the harlot also. 9. And it came to pass through the likeness of her whoredom that she defiled the land and committed adultery with stones and with stock. That is, with objects and with wood. You know, sometimes stock means animals. So with object and with animals. 10. And yet for all this, her treacherous sister Judah has not turned unto me with her whole heart, but frenchly, saith the Lord. 11. And the Lord said unto me, the backsliding Israel has justified herself more than treacherous Judah. Let's take it from here, from 3 to 11. Therefore the showers have been withheld, and no spring rain has fallen. Yet you have brazen look of a prostitute. You refuse to blush with shame. 4. Have you not just called to me, my father, my friend from my youth? 5. Will you always be angry? Will your wrath continue forever? This is how you talk, but you do all the evil you can. Unfaithful Israel. 6. During the reign of King Joshua, the Lord said to me, have you seen what faithless Israel has done? She has gone up on every high hill and under every spreading tree and has committed adultery there. 7. I, though, that after she had done all this, she would return to me, but she did not, and her unfaithful sister Judah saw it. 8. I gave faithless Israel her certificate of divorce and sent her away because of her adultery. Yet I saw that her unfaithful sister Judah had no fear. She also went out and committed adultery. 9. Because Israel's immorality mattered so little to her, she defiled the land and committed adultery with stone and with wood. 10. In spite of all this, her unfaithful sister Judah did not return to me with all her heart, but only in pretense, declared the Lord. 11. The Lord said to me, faithful Israel is more righteous than unfaithful Judah. Okay. So it's talking here about the things that Israel was doing at the time, during the time of Jeremiah. And these things were relating to the women prostituting themselves around. And instead of being ashamed of what they were doing, Judah began to copy what Israel was doing. And in one way, Israel returned unto the Lord, not wholeheartedly, but Judah did not. All right, and this is the way we are today. We do all kinds of monstrosity today. We break all kinds of laws today. And because we have no fear for God, we do all the things that is considered an abomination unto God. And this is why we have taken the sacred institute of marriage and turned it upside down to suit our wicked needs. All right, let's continue. 12 is that one love verse we had. And it says, go and proclaim these words towards the north and say, return thou backsliding Israel, saith the Lord, and I will not cause my anger to fall upon you. For I am merciful, said the Lord, and I will not keep anger forever. Let's read it from here, 12. Go proclaim these message towards the north. Return, faithless Israel, declared the Lord. I will frown on you no longer, for I am merciful, declared the Lord. I will not be angry forever. 13 is that orange, one of those orange verses we had. And it says, only acknowledge thy iniquities, that thou hast transgressed against the Lord thy God, and hast scattered thy ways to the strangers under every green tree, and ye have not obeyed my voice, said the Lord. And we have not. We have not obeyed the commandments of God. Actually, we take the commandments of God that are written on beautiful stones in the courthouse, and we took those commandments and put them on the curb. This happened several years ago. We have taken prayer out of our schools and allowed the devil and all his advocates to come in and shoot our children. Okay, because we feel that prayer is no longer necessary. Okay? So there's always a price to pay, America, for our deeds. If they are evil in the sight of God, we will always pay the price for what we do. It may not happen in the next second. It may not happen tomorrow or the day after, but sooner or later, we will surely reap that which we have sown. Surely. We're reaping a little bit of it now. Everybody's all shut in because of the coronavirus. Who do you think brought the coronavirus into existence? We did? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay. So what we need to do is to take some of these laws that we have implemented and repeal them. Starting with those laws that we have changed regarding the marriage institute. Starting there. All right, let's continue. God tells us exactly how we can get our act together in this following verse. Only acknowledge thy iniquity, that thou hast transgressed against the Lord thy God, and hast scattered thy ways to the stranger under every green tree, and ye have not obeyed my voice, saith the Lord. Let's read it from here. Only acknowledge your guilt. You have rebelled against the Lord your God. You have scattered your favors to foreign gods under every spreading tree, and have not obeyed me, declared the Lord. 14, go. Turn, O backsliding children, said the Lord, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. 14 from here. Return, faithless people, declared the Lord, for I am your husband. I will choose you one from a town and two from a clan, and bring you to Zion. 15, for pink and witnessing. And I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. 15 from here. Then I will give you shepherds from my own heart, who will lead you with knowledge and understanding. You know, in the biblical time, America, God didn't need man's help in selecting his servants. He doesn't need man's help in selecting his servants today. But the world seems to like those that can gather a crowd. Those that manipulate you into giving them money for a blessing that they cannot provide. No man can provide you a blessing from God. No man can promise you a blessing from God, no matter how much they ask you. $85 for a blessing from God. We don't need to beg you. Jesus never begged anyone for anything. We have no need to beg you. All offerings that come to God, they come voluntarily. In the biblical time and today, you voluntarily give to God's house. You don't need anybody to beg you for anything. You don't even need to beg to stay on the line, on the air, because God provides for thee. All right? So everything that comes into the house of God is a voluntary offer. Period. All right? So don't allow anybody to tell you that if you send them $50, you will get a great blessing from God. No, you will get nothing. You'll be at the Salvation Army the following week begging for something you need. You give from your heart. Okay? That's how it goes. Next. 14. I will repeat. Turn, O backsliding children, said the Lord, for I am married unto you, and I will take you, one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. 15. And I will give you pastors according to my heart. This is how our God chooses his servant. He chooses them not according to their outward appearance. It's according to the heart of a man or woman. Something that we have no access to. But when you go around choosing your own pastors, you end up losing them to wickedness. And then when they have been caught in their wickedness, you defend them. But God never defends anybody that has done any wickedness in his sight. Period. What does he do? He puts them in the ground. That's what he does. And if you are no good for the Lord, you produce no fruit for him, he has no use for you. Period. All right? 15, I will repeat again because it's worth repeating it again. I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Reading it from here again. Then I will give you shepherds after my own heart, who will lead you with knowledge and understanding. 16 to 18 is goal for prophecy. And it shall come to pass, when ye be multiplied and increase in the land, in those days, saith the Lord, they shall say no more, the ark of the covenant of the Lord. Neither shall it come to mind, neither shall they remember it, neither shall they visit it, neither shall that be done anymore. 17. At that time they shall call Jerusalem the throne of the Lord, and all the nations shall be gathered together unto it. To the name of the Lord, to Jerusalem. Neither shall they walk any more after the imagination of their evil hearts. 18. In those days the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel, and they shall come together out of the land, out of the north, to the land that I have given for inheritance unto your fathers. Let's take it from here, 16 to 18. In those days, when your numbers have increased greatly in the land, declared the Lord, men will no longer say the ark of the covenant of the Lord. And they don't mention it. They don't. Back in the day, when I was a small child, right after you had your Thanksgiving dinner, the first shows that would come on television would be The Little Drummer Boy and all the shows relating to Christ. And when they all were run through, then you will see Frosty the Snowman and all the other animated shows. Okay, but today, all of that has been cut out. It goes straight to Frosty the Snowman, straight to Santa Claus for the whole entire season. Maybe they may select the worst movie of all to show regarding Christ. It will never be Passion of the Christ, which is the best movie ever made. It would never. We take his birthday and we treat it as if it's Santa Claus' birthday. But as soon as something goes wrong in our life, bam, here we are, asking the Lord for mercy. That's how far we have come away from the Lord. Far. Okay. Let's continue with I'll repeat 18 again from here. In those days, the house of Judah will join the house of Israel, and together they will come from a northern land to the land I gave your forefathers as an inheritance. Okay, here it reads, and in those days, the days of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel, and they shall come together out of the land of the north to the land that I have given for an inheritance unto your fathers. 19 is pink for witnessing. But I say, how shall I put thee among the children and give thee a pleasant land, a goodly heritage of the host of the nation? And I say, thou shalt call me my father and shall not turn away from me. 19. I myself say, how gladly would I treat you like sons and give you a desirable land, the most beautiful inheritance of any nation. I thought you would call me father and not turn away from following me. 20 is brown for Satan again. Surely as a wife treacherously departed from her husband, so have ye dealt treacherously with me, O house of Israel, saith the Lord. 20. But like a woman unfaithful to her husband, so have you been unfaithful to me, O house of Israel, declare the Lord. When the Lord has made a landmark, it is not in the authority of man to change it. The capital of Jerusalem was determined back in the days of David the king. No man has the authority to change that. It doesn't matter whether it's President Trump or anybody else. We have no right to change all things. Some things must remain the same. Ever since that capital was changed, mayhem has approached the head of our president. Mayhem. If you do good, good will come to you. Blessings upon blessings upon blessings. But if you do wicked, wickedness will come to you. Boundaries set in the biblical time are to stay forevermore. Period. There are many things we can change as humans. But there are some things are so sacred that we cannot change them. There are many things we can do and we can accomplish. But there are some things we cannot touch. We cannot go inside of a grave and take every contents out of there and put it in a museum. For those things have been buried with the dead kings long ago. Who are we to go in there and legally rob that grave? And you think you don't pay no price for that? All right, let's continue. 21 and 22 is orange for your faith. A voice was heard upon the high places, weeping and supplication of the children of Israel. For they had perverted their way, and they had forgotten the Lord their God. Amen. 22. Return, ye backsliding children, and I will heal your backsliding. Behold, we came unto thee, for thou art the Lord our God. 20. Of course, we always holler for the Lord when something goes bad. Some of us don't even say the Lord or God until we're in a plane and it's going nose down. Until we suddenly can't find our children. And when we find them, they're never alive. Did the Lord not tell us that we should always pray without ceasing? For you never know when the devil is coming to do his thing. So when you pray without ceasing, you put on your armor, which covers thee and covers all those you love. We don't wear our armor anymore. We're just worrying about these pieces here, which are meaningless. Your armor is a spiritual protection. It covers thee. That's what prayer is. That's what back in the day we prayed in school. Wherever there is prayer, the devil cannot enter. But some foolish politicians thought that this prayer was worthless and unnecessary and offensive. But look what has happened since we've taken away. We can't even trust our children to go to school safe anymore. America, not everything needs to be changed. Some things remain the same forevermore for our own benefit and for the benefit of our youngsters. When you start changing things, you encourage wickedness. Did you hear me? When you start changing things, you encourage wickedness upon the land, which pollutes it. It is not ours to pollute. We are only pilgrims here for a little while. And while we are here, we should do that which is good, so that we can leave a good heritage for our children. Not mayhem. So the Lord will be pleased and bless our children. Let's continue. 23 is blue for salvation. Truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the multitude of mountains. Truly in the Lord our God is the salvation of Israel. Truly. Okay, 23. Surely the idolatrous commotion on the hills and the mountains is a deception. Surely in the Lord our God is the salvation of Israel. Surely. Surely the evil that we do today, we will pay the price for it, because the book says we reap what we sow. If we sow wickedness, wickedness will come upon us. If we sow goodness and blessings will shower us. Never in the history of man have we seen politicians act like pit bulls on the stage, on national television. No sense of respect, dignity, nada. All right. Surely the idolatries, commotions on the hill and mountains is a deception. It's a deception, America. Surely in the Lord our God is the salvation of Israel. We could take the word Israel out. Surely In the Lord our God is the salvation of America. Or we could take that out and say, surely in the Lord our God is the salvation of earth. All right. 24. A little bit shame, a little bit more brown. For shame has devoured the labor of our fathers from our youth, their flocks and their herds, their sons and their daughters. 24. From our youth, shameful gods have consumed the fruits of our fathers' labor, their flocks and herds, their sons and their daughters. There used to be a time when you didn't know a person lived a particular lifestyle. But now, they're fanning it around and grabbing our young children and turning them into that which they are not. Encouraging them from the tender age of 8 and 9 years old. A faithless nation of people. Yet when our Lord walked the earth, he said, what should I consider of this generation? That's what he said. When this world today is much worse than where he was standing. Much worse. All right, let me read it again. For shame has devoured the labor of our fathers from our youth, their flocks and their herds, their sons and their daughters. From our youth, shameful gods have consumed the fruits of our fathers' labor, their flocks and herds, their sons and their daughters. 25, the last verse. We lie down in our shame, and our confusion covers us. We have made laws to legalize the confusion. We lie down in our shame like luxurious sheets. And our confusion covers us, for we have sinned against the Lord our God. We and our fathers from our youth, even unto this day, have not obeyed the voice of the Lord our God. Read it from here. Let us lie down in our shame, and let our disgrace cover us. We have sinned against the Lord our God, both we and our fathers, from our youth till this day. We have not obeyed the Lord our God. And that is surely the truth. So help me God. Thank you very much for listening to us here at Spiritual Order. As always, may the peace of God be upon you. May the protection of God surround you. And may the will of God for your life come from thee. Please, America. Remember that prayer is very important. Don't wait until your family member is on a deathbed to try to pray. Pray that they remain well and safe. Pray continuously every day. Every day that the Lord gives you on this earth is a blessed day indeed. Whether you're feeling good or not, you ought to still bless God for the day. You ought to learn how to bless God every day. Even in the midst of trouble, you ought to still bless God. Okay, because there's always a lesson in every trouble that comes our way. And the lesson is, what are we going to do? Are we going to worry ourselves to death, or are we going to lean on Christ and let him deal with our problems? Okay. The more and the closer we become to the Lord, the more miracles we see in our days. The further we are from him, the less miracles we experience. Okay? So learn to pray. Pick up that Bible, blow the dust off of it, and and read it for yourself. This way, when someone says something wrong, you're already aware that it's wrong because you have learned and you have become accustomed to reading the Bible. You can get much out of reading the Bible. You can't get nothing out of reading People's Magazine and all these other magazines that tell you the life of others. Reading about somebody else's life is not going to help you. But reading about the life of Christ, that'll bless you. Thank you and have a wonderful day.